Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Marlin Bohling with you. I want to turn our attention to the Mid-Atlantic region. Each and every week at this time, we check in with Ben Hushon. Now, he happens to be with the mill in Whitehall, Maryland, and he gives us occasional updates on what's going on in that part of the country. And you know, Ben, as I'm looking at the radar that Tim Ross has pulled up here, it looks like more moisture moving that direction there. I just wondered how the harvest is progressing, what the farmers are trying to get out of the field right now.
Good morning, Marlin. Since we talked last week, we've continued in a dry and kind of seasonably warm 70, 75-degree days. We have a lot of humidity. When I say dry, I mean not any real rain. We had about a half inch of rain, which is the first measurable rain we had in several weeks across pretty much most of the area. But corn continues to be a little wet. We're still 2 weeks ahead of typical harvest here at the moment.
All right, 2 weeks ahead, so that's got to be a relief to folks. If you looked out your window today, what would you see farmers doing?
So when I mentioned 2 weeks ahead, in the last week, farmers, a lot of them have started to harvest corn, gotten a little more serious. You can drive pretty much our whole 5-6 county area right along the state line and see a little bit of corn off everywhere. Stop and talk to them, and they say, yeah, this is about 2 weeks ahead of last year. What we took off was 22-25% moisture. The challenge is the early feedback hasn't been very fun. Yield significantly down from last year. Some are using the term 20-25%. Another grower I talked to last night said his field average on his first pretty good-sized field for the East was 125 bushel dry. And he said, Ben, last year that would have been about 190. So hasn't been a very happy start. They've gotten started a little bit early, but things are still, for serious harvest, still probably a couple of weeks away.
And you blame that drop in yield on what then?
We had a challenge of the month of July was the hottest on record in the various counties. On top of that, we had extreme dry during that period. So we kind of had the double whammy, and in our community, that's pretty much corn pollination. About 80% of it's done, if not more, in the month of July.
Wow, sorry to hear about that, but I do thank you for sending in that video and the photos, and hope everybody gets into the better stuff. A lot of times, maybe the corn that suffers most dries down first, and that tends to be what they go after first. You never know. So hopefully that's the case here, Ben, and we hope everything turns out a little better as they get down further into harvest. Ben Hushon with an update on what's going on in the Maryland region here this week. He's with the mill in Whitehall, Maryland. I want to get you updated on current prices, and we'll go to the big board here with the corn market still under pressure. December now down 4.5 cents, at 3.62 per bushel, still just a couple ticks off of our low of the day. In the soybean market right now, we have November soybeans at 9.87 that's down 9 cents on the day. Let's move on to our wheat, and in Chicago here with these quotes provided by Bar Chart, December is now 1 3/4 higher at 5.52 per bushel. Interesting, just the same action that we saw yesterday, I believe. In the Kansas City market, December is now unchanged at 4.82 3/4 per bushel. And in Minneapolis spring wheat, we now have December up a half cent at 5.30 per bushel. On the cotton market, that December new crop contract is down 65 points at 65.04 cents per pound. We'll come back in a moment. I'll get you updated on our livestock trade next.